Today I want to discuss how Haki is stored. The most recent example where we saw this Haki storage must be when Scopper Gaban was using it on Summers. He was chopping him up with his axe and potentially storing the Conqueror's Haki within Summers so that the damage would be maintained and it would prevent their immortality temporarily. And the previous example we saw was Joy Boy's release of Haki that he gave to Emmett in the form of a knot. And the knot is an obvious reference to Weatheria, where Nami was able to learn about the wind knots. And with the wind knots, you could basically store energy within them, and when you release the knot, it would basically release a gust of wind. And although this scene technically isn't canon, we see Nami actually testing out her wind knots with the sky, and she's able to completely clear the sky of any clouds. This is very similar to what happens with a Yonko clash. When we see two Yonkos clash, the sky actually splits, clearing the clouds. So somehow when there's a Conqueror's Haki release, it actually affects the weather around it, creating gusts of wind as well. So there's definitely some kind of connection between wind and Haki releases. Haki also has other effects like the black lightning that we see and other weather effects. When Haki is also released, it has effects on the environment around you. It can also just damage random objects like we saw when Shanks boarded Whitebeard's ship. The ship was just cracking and creaking left and right. So a key to Haki storage I feel like comes from what Luffy learned in Wano with Rio, where the Haki can actually come out of the body and form some type of barrier. And so when it comes to Haki storage, what's actually happening is the Haki is coming out of your body and storing in an object temporarily. This is all somehow also connected to the soul, where you're almost putting a piece of your soul into that object. Another way this is displayed is definitely with swords, like what we see with Enma and how Enma has a personality and actually extracts the Haki out of Zoro. I feel like this is due to previous owners of Enma putting their Haki into the sword, giving it its almost soul and personality. Haki storage is storing a piece of your soul within an object. And you can take this a step further with black blades, where you somehow store your Haki in the blade permanently. The interesting part would be is how much Haki do you actually have to put into this blade for it to store permanently? And how come there's so few people with black blades, literally only Mihawk? This also gave me an interesting idea. What if Nami actually starts to utilize weapons that have stored Haki in them? That way that kind of gets around her actually needing to learn Haki for her own battle use cases. She can literally just store Luffy's Haki into her staff and damage basically anyone. Nami would be such a hacked character just by using Luffy's Haki. Usopp would also have insane use cases for these Haki storage items. But honestly, I still want him to learn Haki, so I would want him to use his own. This Haki storage is going to open up a completely new way of fighting that's going to be very interesting coming up soon. But yeah, that's all I got. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe for more, and I'm out. Deuces.